And talking about standing by your man, apparently a lot of people stood by this man. And so congratulations are in order, President David Chartrand. How many times is this? 9?
This is the 8th term.
8th term.
8 terms, yeah. And 3 by acclamation. And like I said on the show before, like my first after 5 wins is I wanted one day to win by acclamation, to knowing that really now you have the guaranteed trust of all your people. And they support your vision, they support where you're going, and they support your work, and they definitely support their trust. So when I won that first acclamation, it was touched the heart so much. And now I'm fortunate by the people that they still believe in my vision today. They believe that I'm doing the right thing, taking them the right pathway, and achieving things like some of my elders have said were only dreams and becoming reality. So it's a great place to be. It's a great place actually to be Métis now, so of the Red River. We know that right now because we got thousands and thousands joining us from all across the prairies right now.
Yeah.
And I know they're listening out in our Red River homeland all the way to British Columbia.
Yeah.
So when I look at this and listen to Dave Gray, I was listening to the show this morning. I didn't even know he was going to be on, but it's good he was on. And but it's really good to hear what he actually said out. And I don't know if people actually took or accepted it inside all of what was being said in the concept of historic. Mm-hmm. Never since 1967 has the entire cabinet been provincially elected by acclamation.
I know, right?
Never.
I was just going to say, like, not only you being, acclaimed to your position, but pretty much your entire cabinet has also been acclaimed. So
all, not pretty much, all of it.
Well, there was one new one, right?
One new one, but he's been acclaimed. But he has a long standing. He goes back a long way. He's a local chairman for Minnetonus, and he's been there for a long, long time. Yeah. He's been active in our MET, our training board. He sat on there for many, many years, and so he's well known. He's a school teacher and by trade, and teaches mechanics. Actually, he was one of our funded students many moons ago, mm-hmm. and he took mechanic as a field, and he actually competed in Canada. He came in second in Canada as a top mechanic. So I'm telling you, it's just such a great thing to see, and he's on board. And again, I want to thank John Paranto for his service. I hope he's listening at home. And John still has a place in the government somewhere, but John's health has been really giving him a setback, and I think that's why he did the honorable thing and he stepped down, mm-hmm. because his health has been really, really, and people have heard us on the show asking for prayers for him and different times, and he's worked hard. He has a strong passion for fishers and just for Métis rights in general. So there'll always be, I'm sure, a place for Porky once his health improves. Mm-hmm. He can devote some time to keep on fighting for Métis rights. So again, John Pronto, I want to thank you for all the years of service. I know it's probably been a hard thing for you to step away from, because you helped build this government to where it is, and we definitely got to salute you for your dedication in fighting for Métis rights. And coming from my community of Duck Bay, I'm very, very proud of the work he had done and tried to do throughout, because he couldn't attend a lot of meetings after because of his health. Mm-hmm. And as I said, and I also heard Norman Campbell speak out. Norman actually put his name in, and that's a man of class. Norman put his name in, and there was an issue with his nomination, and he did not, meet the standards or the rules that applied. And that's where you see a true leader. He comes out and says, "Look, I want to commend and thank and congratulate Jelida, and I want to congratulate Mark and Mildred." Mm-hmm. And that would have been candidates he would have been running against, Mildred and Mark. And he did the honorable thing as a leader. He's a local leader. He's been there for a long, long time. I have great respect for Norman. And I just like that kind of class, you know.
That is class, yeah.
That's good class, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Norman, I hope you heard me. But again, Norman, I always see him at meetings, and he's always there. And the province actually still owes him a moose. And one day they better give him a cow or something, or we will at the Federation. They took his moose from his hunting one time. Anyways, I also want to, before I go into business, I want to express prayers to be sent out to Donna Sanofsky. You heard it was mentioned by Dave Grays, one of the poll clerks, or DROs, I think they're called, deputy returning officers. And she had to rush out yesterday to Alberta. Her son's in a hospital, in ICU, in a dangerous position. Mm-hmm. And so she was up in arms, losing every sense of understanding what she can and cannot do, and mm-hmm. just confused. And, I need to get out there. And she took off with her husband and her mom. So I hope everything's going out good, Donna. I did pray for your son last night, and I hope everything turns out okay.
Yeah.
There's also, before I do forget, there's May 27 at 7 o'clock. Morgan Ginter is having her CD release, so I'm sure we'll play some of her CDs that we have. Ray, if you're listening, I want to get some on the next Saturday. She's having a CD release at the Human Rights Museum, and at 7 o'clock on May 27. You can only get in by tickets, I believe. I was supposed to be going. She sent me 2 tickets, but actually I will be in Duck Bay because my granddaughter is getting confirmation, and actually there's 32 of them. I am so proud of the community, and a lot of their families are getting ready to get their confirmation. The baptisms have occurred already, and communion, now they're getting confirmation. So I'll be in Duck Bay for that event, and the Archbishop is actually going to be there, so it'll be a dinner. MMF will be helping out with the community, and because it's a big event to see the Archbishop come to your town, and so I know Father Napoleon will be all nervous, know that the Archbishop is coming in. So will the community, and but the community, as usual, will always come together to help out and make a difference. So we're going to have a dinner for the visit by the Archbishop, and then we'll make sure there's also going to be an invitation to all the parents and others to come to the dinner, given that their child is getting confirmation. Now, we have some birthdays. I'll get to birthdays, and from there I want to get to business. And a lot of stuff is happening. I got about at least, I think, 14 pages here that Kat put together.
Oh, my goodness.
Some of the stuff that's going on is just crazy. I'm telling you, you know that. It just goes absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, I miss you on CTV. But anyways, we also have birthdays going on to Barb Lavely. We did mention it last Saturday, but I want to mention it again because it was preempt. Her birthday is May 19th. Did we pass May 19th? What's the day anyway?
Yeah, 21st today.
Okay, so 2 days ago. Happy birthday, Barb. And Barb, you heard, is one of the DROs also. These individuals we hear and mention on the show. These are activists that have been volunteering for years in the local. So it's great to see, and we give them recognition and notoriety when there's a special time in their life. So happy birthday going out to Barb on May 19th on Thursday. Happy birthday going out to Lori Friesen, the post-secondary education department. Her birthday is May 22nd. Again, we have 50th birthday. She's not scared to tell her age. Like I heard about your age now. You're talking going back to the 90s, you.
Hey.
So it tells you your age.
I was only 5.
Cowboy told everybody, so there's no getting away from it. Happy 82nd birthday going out to Métis veteran and Elder Jim DeRoche out in Saskatchewan, à La Crosse. And happy, again, he was with me in Rome and at the Vatican, and he was also a past member of the military, and he was there when he went to the grave sites and did prayers on behalf of the Canadian delegation. All the ones that are buried there is a pretty big graveyard, but 68 of them were Canadian and 5 of them were from Manitoba. And so
I went to that graveyard when I was there too.
And it's on? No, it's what's it called? My wife's probably listening next door. She'll come running in here. April text me right away.
I can't even remember the name of it.
Starts with A. Anyway, somebody will text me. Happy 42nd birthday going to Robin Janai. So Robin's my niece, and May 26th is her birthday, and she's 42 years old, and she's not afraid to tell her age. So not like Naomi. Anyways.
No. My sister's birthday's on Monday, and she's going to be 40, so happy birthday, Paige.
Paige?
Yep.
No, it's not Alonzo. And happy... Anzio, that's what it's called. Yes. And she said Alonzo, so it's close. Anzio is the name of the village where you went and did her prayers for the gravesite.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to your sister, too. 40, you said?
40, yeah.
Oh, good for her. Good for her. And that's a proud woman, not be scared of her age. Not like Naomi.
Nope.
Anyways, moving away.
I'm her twin. I'm just kidding.
No, you revealed your age already.
I know.
You told me you're in the bars in the early 90s. So.
I know.
Anyways, meetings going out. We had a meeting with Scott Fielding, and that was a very good meeting. I had Scott Fielding was Minister of Child and Family once, Minister of Finance, and now he's the Minister of Lotteries. He's also Minister of Natural Resources. So we had a very good meeting. We talked about the expansion of gaming in Manitoba, and definitely the Métis will play a role in that. We had a very good discussion of where we would fit into the future. And again, we'll be looking at options and ideas of how Métis and gaming will come together, and we can utilize, of course, those resources for the advancement and betterment of our people. So that was a very good meeting, Scott. If anybody's listening on your side or yourself, I want to express again my gratitude for the way you came across and such open approach. and definitely in the invitation of a partnership approach. We also talked about the forestry, and there's, of course, issues happening there, and I did raise with him some of the policies that are coming out of his department. It actually needs to be revisited, or it's going to have definitely a court case going on. There's not a doubt in my mind the Federation will go to court. We actually are going to court with them already on a few policies, but they actually expelled a few more out. And so from my perspective in talking to our lawyers, we'll probably have to go to court for those too. So it seems like whoever's writing policy in government, and I think I know it is actually expressing ways to make sure there's the division between us as Indigenous people against those that are non-Indigenous. So it's obviously to drive a wedge, I think, is what these policies are being created for by the bureaucracy internally, because the minister was not aware of them. And so we're going to be talking about that a little bit in greater depth as we speak. But when you look at it from that context, I think First Nation will feel the same as I do. Those are infringing on their constitutional rights. They're there for a reason. Section 35 is there for a reason, and consultation is there for a reason. And when these governments decide they could just go ahead and do something for their own personal support for their voters and forget about our rights and our position and the law. I made it very clear to them, we're not breaching the law, you are. You're breaking the law. You're not immune from the Constitution of this country. You're not immune from the law just because you're a government.
Yeah.
We're a government too. So we did have a good discussion. We're going to explore that a little bit more, and we're going to have a meeting again shortly. I did speak yesterday at the, I want to commend again the business community, Métis business community. It's quite large, Naomi. It's in, I think, close to 1,000 Métis businesses exist in Manitoba.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's large. I was so impressed. And about 50% are in the social service needs, like from restaurants to different forms of business that relate to its customer service. And so they definitely got hit, of course, during COVID because everything was shut down. So, but I want to again thank our Louisville Capital Corporation, our Métis Economic Development Fund, both John and Paul, because there again, our federation came across with some solid support. We gave $6.7 million to 564 businesses, Métis-owned businesses, to keep them afloat during the COVID. So that was a nice, well received by most, 97% response of 500, saying they all appreciated the support of the Métis government, and it kept their doors afloat. But they're still having a hard time. They're worse off than they were, which we did a survey and a study prior to COVID. So we need to figure out how do we help them out in the service community. So I had a chance to reflect the vision of where we're going in the Federation, the ideas, and definitely one of the key things we're looking at is procurement and buying. The buying power of the Federation. And it's so large today. We're spending hundreds of millions of dollars in buying. So we need to make sure that this goes through Métis businesses, and that's something we support very strongly. So we need to make sure it's written in the policies, and any of our transactions also in our business environment. We're building several apartments, and one for sure in Selkirk. I think that's coming up on Wednesday. I'll be in Selkirk. They will do a ribbon cutting ceremony.
Awesome.
And that's the beautiful, beautiful apartment block. It's so stunning. If you have a chance, you may pop by. Phone my office on Tuesday. Tell me and I'll tell you what time.
Okay.
It's going to be beautiful. We're going to have a big picture of it in front of the lawn. It's right by the Blue Bridge there that goes in by the river, and by City Hall there.
Okay.
And, so it's going to be a stunning building. Now our plan is to take that same design, same building, and build it on. We bought Roxy Lanes in the parking lot to the Roxy Lanes.
Oh, did you?
Yep. And
awesome.
it's people are now trying to make it an heritage building, but I don't think they'll be able to achieve that because it's a 93-year-old building. But at one time it was a theater, and that's what I think they're talking about. It played a iconic role in that era 93 years ago. But in the 60s, they gutted the entire thing out. They made it into a bowling alley.
Right.
So it's no longer has a historical connection, unless you want to see a brick maybe it might have. But overall, that's not how you keep history alive. So from that perspective, we will look at ways of helping in some ways, but we can't see an historical nature to it because somebody already gutted it all out and changed it completely, the features of it. But our plan is actually to build about 45 to 49 apartments there for our citizens, 55 plus. And we're going to have a clinic, and we're going to have a pharmacy down there, and some other businesses in the main floor. And the second floor will be the Winnipeg Region's new office and some other additions from the business context. But it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful building, and I can't wait for people to see it already. We're getting a lot of inquiries. In Selkirk already, people are all phoning in. Lloyd Vermillion, if he's listening, he already said, I'd like to move to Selkirk if I can. So, but it's because what we actually do in our process is we try to keep our rent, like all our elders in St. Laurent, for example, if they're listening, we keep our rent at $800 a month. But that includes hydro, everything, cutting the lawn, shoveling the snow. They don't have to lift a finger. Right. That's our responsibility as a government to take care of our elders, and they love it. They love it because the rent is so cheap. Because some people say, well, it's only $600, but then your hydro is $500. So, and then your gas, and then your water bill, and your all these other things that come up and bite you from the rear end when you don't look at the rest of the bills.
Right.
So ours is $800 all inclusive.
Nice.
And so our elders really like that, and I think it's the best approach. And we subsidize ourselves. Canada does not subsidize, nor the province. We, as the Métis government, subsidize the extra costs because it costs more than $800 to run a house. Mm-hmm. So MMF government subsidizes it. So again, thank you, Anita, of course, and Mr. Goodon for that. But again, moving forward, these things are happening as we speak, and I can't wait to be there. So I had a good chance to talk to the business community about it. And these businesses, I said, when they go out and we tender them, they have to hire Métis businesses. They have to hire Métis electricians, Métis drywallers, Métis this, Métis that. So we want to make sure we create enough jobs as possible, but opportunities. But the buying power as a general, as a people, as a business, if we bought our businesses and the ones that are connected together, I said, we can achieve such great purchasing power. So we're actually, the recommendations that are talking about a Métis Chamber of Commerce. So I'll look at that a little bit more when I get the details. That came back from the study. But I can't tell you enough how proud I am what LRCC has been doing. They've been, actually since 1992, they've estimated about $60 million in loans they've given to Métis people in Manitoba. So, again, you got to give them big kudos, and I'm so proud of the work that's been being achieved right now by our government. I think that's why we get in by acclamation, because people are seeing such great strides and accomplishments. Also, St. Malo, I want to thank St. Malo. They really, and of course, Vice President Denise Thomas and her two executives, Sean and the oh boy, I always have a hard time with her name. She's got a friend, Mary Lee. She got a French accent spin to it, and Mary Lee from St. Malo. And we were the biggest donator for the hockey ice plant for their arena, and they really appreciate it and sent a big thank you to the Federation for being the top donator to keep their ice arena in shape. We also had a chance again as the MMF government to say a great victory was accomplished. I want to thank Sonny Cochran and his firm, and of course there was, I think, all the First Nations, with quite a number of Child Family Service agencies and MMF. We had 3 of ours in there, 2 of our agencies and our authority. We took on the provincial government for robbing the children of their child allowance money, and they've been doing that for quite enough since 2006. They've been, NDP is included. They're not immune to this. NDP did it when they were in government, and the Conservatives also followed suit. And the judge ruled in our favor that money belongs to the children. And so you try to look at them taking this. I think we're the last province, potentially the last province in Canada that still claws back and makes the children buy their own Pampers. So you want to apprehend these children. You want to take them in for their families because they're in need or their families are broken. But you also have a responsibility. Once you take them, you got to fend for them. That means financially also. You don't take their child allowance money and make them pay for you taking them away from their community or family. So we won that case, and again, Sonny Cochran and his firm did a great job, and I'm very proud of the accomplishment of not ourselves, but the First Nations inclusive, all of us together. And now I hope the government does the right thing. I hope the province does the right thing. They come to the table and settle, and because I think for the Métis it's about 28-30 million. The total is about 350 million, Naomi.
Yeah, I was reading that.
251 is First Nation Métis, and the other one would be more non-Indigenous. But even that alone, I want to make it clear on the air right now, that money is not going to the MMF. It's not going for us to spend. It's not going to Child and Family Services to spend. It's going to go into a trust, into an account, and if the children are already past of age and gone, then we're going to find them and give them their money. That's their money.
Right.
And it should have always been their money. And we've instructed our Child Family Allowance funds to go into savings. See what the province has done and try to trick Manitobans, try to trick everybody out there saying, we're not clawing back anymore under Pallister, of course. What he did is he put in this new legislation saying you can't sue them. And secondly, they went to a process of what they call block funding. Remember, there's big write-ups in the paper about it. But what they were doing actually is taking the funding, reshifting it around, and giving you 20% less of what the total of probably child allowance money comes to, and taking it off your main budget. So this way, they are saying we're not clawing back. Well, they took away 20% of the child allowance value from you. So they are clawing back. They're just trying to trick numbers around like a chess game, you know. So you're gonna have to wake up a lot more earlier than trick Indigenous people now. So anyways, again, I'm very proud of the Child and Family Services agencies and all the management inside there, plus our leadership, both First Nation and Métis governments. And Mona, I want to thank Mona Beers for her leadership. And again, before that was Judy Mayer. And this achievement is a big win. It's a massive win. And let's not forget we're in right now negotiations with Canada for federal direct relationship on child welfare, so that we would have a direct now relationship directly with Canada and not the province. And the province may be part of it somewhere, but no longer would the province have control and jurisdiction over our children. So again, those are big concepts of change that are coming in Canada, and I think, of course, the Prime Minister and his government. And but at the end of the day, it's very clear. This victory is a massive victory for our people and for children in general, and it'll be a shame. And in fact, every Manitoba should be ashamed of themselves to call themselves Manitobans if you see the provincial government trying to appeal this and fight against children. So it does not make sense whatsoever. They should do the right thing. They know what they did is wrong. Now let's get it fixed, So on other matters, I want to talk about the flooding. I think it's, first of all, my best goes out to Peguis, and I think they're hit the hardest, and a few reserves around there.
Yeah. And
they will get our support. If they need our support, Glenn, if you're listening, Federation will always be there to support our neighbors. And at the end of the day, we know that the hardships, the family leaving their homes. People say, well, they're gone to a hotel. Well, I don't care. Sometimes I step in a hotel.
Yeah.
I hate it. I do it because I have to do it. It's my job. I want to come home and sleep in my own bed. You can't beat that comfort of knowing you're in your own house.
Exactly.
So people out there think it's okay. It's not okay. It's hard on families, hard on children, and I hope that everybody's going to be okay, and that they'll be able to salvage as best as they can whatever they have, and that Canada and Manitoba do the right thing, and let's get that. If they need the MMF to come along and get environmental support on constitutional rights impacting Métis rights, we will set those aside to make sure that we support Peguis and the other surrounding areas, Fisher River, Hudson. We have our own little communities around there too. So to make sure that we can get a proper diversion, so not every couple of years the families have to run away from their houses to go and try to find a way to survive. So
yeah,
and that's not the way things should be. So and so in closing, let me say this. By the way, we had a beautiful gathering ourselves at the Federation, planning what our steps are. We're looking out the window and we're asking ourselves, what are we doing next? So we are going to actually move, taking offices. We're building offices right on 100 Sutherland, where Child and Family is located, in the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority rents. It used to be Mucklucks used to rent from us there.
Okay.
So we're taking all that and rechanging it all. So that's going to be into office spaces. And so we're going to be moving our office there. We're running out of space. And I think it's something that is a big issue. Another issue I'll talk about on the show before I do go is that people, thought I was being hard when we had that homeless tent city there. And I kept on trying to tell people that's not what I'm doing. What I'm telling you is very dangerous even for them, because you could see people with knives, axes. 2 people got killed in that neighborhood. Our staff, we have to hire extra security to walk our staff to cars and so forth. And people were saying I was being mean. I wasn't being mean. I have to protect staff. But at the same time, you could see young girls going there. And you could see drug dealers were going there. There's not a question about it. Because you could see they don't belong there, how they dress, out the window. And then you could see a few minutes after they leave the tent, the person be sitting outside in the chair or on the ground shooting up a needle. So these are drug dealers. And they're taking advantage of the homeless people. So there's a lot of addictions. There's a lot of mental issues that do exist beyond just a tent to keep the rain away from your head, or the snow, or the cold. There's issues that need to be addressed there. So it has become an issue. But we have another problem at the Federation. We had to replace 3 doors in I think a week and a half. Somebody's been coming in and just kicking the doors, just kicking them, breaking them. And what can you do, right? They're homeless, and but they're not in the right sense because they're having mental or addiction issues. So it's not just a normal person that's standing there anymore. The person has challenges, and so they've been being arrested. But they're also smashing all our windows, and as they walk by to go eat at 75 Sutherland, there, that big building right in the corner of Disraeli, because they walk from the Army, what do you call that? Army place there.
Salvation Army?
Yeah, Salvation Army place. And there was homeless place in Main Street project. They walk from there, so you have to walk in front of our building to go eat on the other side. So as they're walking by, they just start smashing things. And then staff are scared now. So now I've got more security working to walk them to their cars, protecting. It's a hard thing for our staff, yet we're out there trying to provide services and help out. And so it becomes a big challenge for us, and people better listen very carefully, because I will protect my staff, and at the same time I'll try to do my best to protect the people in the street and understand that we are not trying to hurt people, we're trying to protect people. And so again, this is becoming an issue, so I'll talk about it now because I want to raise it with the city. You guys are doing everything in that corner, and what they've done really for people to listen, they've actually taken downtown Portage Avenue, moved all the homeless people out of there, street people, as you call it, some of the names they use out there. They put community policing walking around there, and they moved them all to one corner. Now, the challenge you face is you put so much challenges in one corner, there's a lot of things that are going to go wrong. And so that's, now they build houses there, and so it's going to become a big issue. And they're underfunded already. They don't have money to pay for the construction. They don't have money for the office. Even the washroom, they don't have money for it now. So people are doing it just to get rid of people, in my view, and moving them to the North End kind of concept, and saying, you guys worry about it in that corner. You're poor people anyway. So that's kind of the concept in the business community, probably. Get them out of here, move them over there, and that's not our problem anymore. So, but it is a problem. It's a serious problem for all Manitobans and the city of Winnipeg. We need to deal with their addictions. We need to deal with their mental anguish, their struggles, their hardships, and definitely try to stabilize. One of the goals I'm trying to build right now is a addiction and mental facility out in Breezy Point. We bought, of course, the location of the lands and everything. Now we ripped down the building. We're going to build a new one, and that, I hope, will take care of itself. Our homeless shelter is built on Main, so we can know that. We have Will Goodon's our minister. He was able to get some homelessness money. We're building, I think it's 21 beds, but it's going to come with a full service, Naomi. It's going to come with people need counselors. We'll have counselors. You need psychologists. We'll need psychologists. We'll have them. You need to look for a job. You need to find a placement. You need to go back to school. We're going to have all these wraparound services built within that homelessness, or I was not going to support it. I told my minister, if you're going to just build that building and put people to sleep there and then let them out in the day without helping them, then I'm not putting a penny into it. I'm not helping you unless you get the proper services. You've got to treat these people right, and you make sure you help them, not just put a roof over their head. That's just a temporary solution. So, again, we're pushing that agenda, but I could see what the city has done now. They've pushed it all to this side where they believe Indigenous people live, put the problem over there. It's not ours anymore. Let's close our eyes and let's run our rich city on this side, right? So it's like suburbia world, right? And so I got to worry about how I figure out my situation there, because I'm located right in the center of all of it. And, we're putting $8 million in repairs to our building right now. Like, we have to put new windows, new elevators, all these, because the building is quite old, and refurbish it. And so when you look at it from that side, we're putting a massive investment economically. And I got about 200 and something, maybe 300 employees to worry about in there. So I got to figure out how to get to their cars and how to get safely into locations. Because it's not that these people are bad. It's not these people are dangerous in a sense personally. It's because they're in a state of anguish, whether it's mental or psychological, or they have some addictions, and it's driving them to do things they would normally never do as a person. So that's the challenge we face, and I want people to fully understand what it is we're trying to overcome. And but we have to work together to figure out a solution on this. And how do we do it? So anyways, that's a big challenge I face now right now. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, I'm just being mean and not caring." That's absolutely the opposite of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure I help and take care, but I also have to protect staff. And you would understand if you were an employee walking your vehicle at night and then you would be accosted. Well, you'd put me in a very difficult position as a president. You could sue me and charge me for not protecting you. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm talking about in the context of it. So it's a big challenge, and hopefully we'll find solutions as we go forward. So with that being said, I'll talk to you guys next Saturday. Again, congratulations to all of the acclaimed, all the entire cabinet's back, and I'm so proud of it. That's something we should. You'll see some nice big billboards going up. Again, thanking all Manitobans, all the Métis for supporting us, standing behind our vision, standing behind our direction where we're going with this government. There are greater things to come. The treaty is around the corner. The land claims are being negotiated, and there's more and more health is being done. There'll be, as I said, more pharmacies, more clinics, more services, and it's just going to go on and on and on. So we have a big footprint in this province now, and we want to keep on building that. So that's our goal. That's where my vision is going, and I'm going to be focusing on youth. There's a youth camp coming for all the youth out there. We're having the cabins built as we speak right now. So if you want to get your kid out to camp, start calling your region and say, "Look, I want my kid out there." The program is being developed as we speak, but just get your name on the list. So make sure if you can't have a sleeping bag, we'll buy you a sleeping bag. So I want kids to enjoy themselves and make sure they can know they can count on their Métis camp. So again, we'll talk to you guys, Naomi, and nice to hear your voice. And now I know how old you are. Talk to you later.
Congratulations one more time there.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So that was, of course, newly acclaimed President David Chartrand for the 8th term. And congratulations are going out to the rest of the cabinet as well.